Hey, church family. So, have you seen or been to one of these events where they check your temperature before you get to go in? I've often wondered how many people were unaware that they were running a fever. And then I got to thinking, I wonder if we did this at church, but if our gauge checked our spiritual temperature, how many of us would be aware of really what that is? There's this passage in Revelation chapter 2 and 3 where Jesus addresses these seven churches. I would highly recommend you making it a Bible study when you get a chance and looking into it. But he addresses these seven churches. One of those churches is the church of Laodicea. It starts in chapter 3, verse 14. And he speaks to this church, and it was the church that he was probably the harshest with. He was very heavy handed. And he criticizes them for being lukewarm. He said, "You're neither hot nor cold, and I wish you were one or the other, but because you're not, I want to spew you out of my mouth." Now, he wasn't saying to them that, hey, if you're not on fire for God, that I want you to be the exact opposite. The idea was is they were reading the temperature of the room. Lukewarm meant like room temperature. They were like their environment. In order to be hot or cold, you have to be influenced by an outside source. And Jesus was saying, I want to be that source, but you're like your environment, the environment around you. And what he says to them is, he said, you say that you think you're rich and have need of nothing. He said, but I'm telling you that you are poor and miserable and naked and blind. And it just really got me to thinking, how in the world can we be that far off? I mean, it'd be one thing to think that we're a 10 and to find out that we're a 9 or an 8 or maybe, like a 7, like, okay, not that far off. But I mean, they were really far off. They thought they were a 10, and Jesus said, you don't even register, you're down in the negatives. How is it possible to be that unaware of our spiritual condition? So he tells them, he said, I want you to do three things. First, he said, I want you to buy your gold from me. What he was saying was, I want you to get your values from me. Secondly, he said, I want to clothe you. You see, they were naked and they didn't even know it. They didn't even know to be embarrassed. They had no shame. They wasn't convicted about their condition. And then thirdly, he said, I want to be the one to give salve for your eyes. I want your eyes to be healed so you can see things clearly. See things the way the Lord sees things. And man, that just really got me to thinking, this year, this 2020, do we have the right vision this year? Do we have his vision? What's he doing? What's he up to? Is 2020 just a year just to get through, to get back to some form of normalcy? Or is the pain of 2020 like birth pains, and God's birthing something new? I'm not suggesting that it is or it's not. I'm just saying, if he is, are we in tune with it? Lord, what are you up to? Where are we in light of where you want us to be? What is our spiritual condition? So I'd like to invite you out. We're going to have our first gathering is going to be a prayer gathering here at the theater. It's 140 North Main Street on October the 25th at 4 p.m. And we're going to get together for a simple format. We're going to have some worship, a devotion, maybe a testimony, but we're going to spend some time in reflective prayer, asking the Lord to help us to see things the way he sees things, asking the Lord to help us to see our individual spiritual condition and then our condition as a church. Asking the Lord that whatever he is up to and whatever he is putting together and all of the bad of this year and working it out for our good, how can we be in on that? I'd love for you to come out and attend with us October the 25th, 4 p.m. It's just going to be a simple prayer gathering. And we have one simple sort of request. Lord, help us to see things the way you see things. Until then, take a few moments, look at Revelation chapter 2 and 3 there, read those other churches. It'll make for a great Bible study. But if you can, love to have you to come out and visit with us, and we will talk to you soon. God bless you. Bye.